A Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal sitting in Abuja has restrained MultiChoice Nigeria Limited from increasing its tariff and cost of product and services scheduled to begin today, which is April 1. The three-member tribunal presided by Thomas Okosun gave the order following an ex parte motion moved by Festus Onifade, the legal practitioner on behalf of himself and the Coalition of Nigerian Consumers. The applicants prayed for an order of interim injunction restraining the first defendant and respondent from carrying out the impending increase in tariffs and cost of its product and services intended to take effect from today, 2022, until the hearing and determination of the motion on notice already filed before this tribunal. The matter is adjourned until April 11th for hearing and determination of the motion on notice.
All right. Now, we have joining us via telephone Ezekiel Ugochukwu, who is a legal practitioner, to talk to us about this. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to be here.
You're welcome. Now, let's talk about the legality of this. In the first place, MultiChoice is a business enterprise, is a business entity, isn't it? So it reserves the rights to determine how the pricing goes, isn't it? And so when you see a court order like this one, what's the legality of it here?
The truth is that, first of all, I must say that is a cheering news. Some of our agencies and parastatals are beginning to rise up to the challenges of the moment. All over the world, we all know that though individuals have the right, I mean companies and the businessmen they do have the right to fix prices of goods and services. However, the government, through agencies and parastatals, are allowed to monitor and, in fact, to checkmate the activities of those individuals. Take, for instance, the issue of MultiChoice that is a topic of discussion this morning. It's MultiChoice in Nigeria, because of the programs and all that they offer, is almost a monopoly. So, if government agencies that is saddled with the responsibility of protecting consumers sits idly and do nothing, what it means is that they will just, any moment they will come up and increase tariffs or the cost of purchase of whatever their product. So it is a cheering news, and it is legally it is backed by law, and the Consumer Protection Council is in the right direction, and I encourage them to do more. It is not just MultiChoice. There are other areas who have been shouting on top of our voices that government sits idly and they do nothing while Nigerians suffer. So it is a wonderful one. If MultiChoice, and of course, as you just read out, is an ex parte application which was granted. So if MultiChoice do have a counter argument to that, they should present their case, and the court will look at it on April 11th.
Yeah, Counsel, the concern for some Nigerians, especially if we claim to be a free market economy, is...
I didn't get that.
Counsel, what I'm saying is we have concerns by some Nigerians, that, as asked in the first question, that this is a business. So even though you have argued that it's a monopoly, under what conditions can the business freely review its prices, given the Nigerian reality, a rise in the cost of diesel, the non-availability of public power supply? I mean, this business operates in this economy. So what are the kind of conditions that would warrant, given that all other business, as it were, seem to have also reviewed their prices? The airlines, a typical example.
Yeah, it does. That is why they are called Consumer Protection Council. The job of the Consumer Protection Council is to protect Nigerians from such hikes. What the issue now is, well, that is why the court is there, to balance, looking at the market, what is available just because of diesel and all that you have mentioned, and then the increase. You cannot just wake up and make an outrageous increase. Don't forget that they were given license in Nigeria to operate. So if they were given license in Nigeria to operate, they have to operate under certain conditions. And those conditions are what we are talking about. If they are not checkmated and they breach such conditions, shouldn't the Consumer Protection Council come in to regulate them? The Consumer Protection Council is a regulatory agency, and what they are doing is they are to act as intermediary between the seller or the distributor of the product and the purchasers, the end users, those who watch Dstv. So they have to come to ensure that there is a balance of equation. So it has nothing to do, if government should leave everything in the hand of private individuals, it means that the private individual will take advantage of the so-called fuel scarcity, every other thing, and then at the end of the day, the common Nigerian is the person that will suffer it.
Okay, I am concerned, about, the investments of, MultiChoice and GoTV in Nigeria, and why the particular interest in MultiChoice, because we've seen other brands, other products, who have increased their prices. We've talked about bread, we've talked about even common things like, sachet water, a whole lot of other things have increased price, without any basis. So we are not talking about, why are we not talking about all of those other products, and why the particular interest in MultiChoice? We have a concern here because, I mean, this is a foreign investment, and we've always talked about, creating the enabling environment for businesses to thrive and how we can attract more foreign investments. So shouldn't that be a concern for us?
Well, to me, I don't hope for Consumer Protection Council. I don't know why they took the action. However, we must start somewhere. If I know that at a time when, let's use sachet water for example, I know at a time that the government came, intervened in the increase of prices of sachet water in Abuja. It took some time. You will recall that even the sachet water producers in Abuja were on strike for a while, and at the time the balance was struck between the producers and government agencies, and at that time the sachet water rose up to 20 naira per sachet. So
it's still 20 naira per sachet.
In my opinion, I do not think it is it's a wind shunt.
But sachet water is still 20 naira as at now, as we speak. So the price hasn't come down.
Yes, it would have increased more than that. That's my take on that. And assuming that is not even that MultiChoice, that Consumer Protection Council is going after MultiChoice, for instance, for the first time, and it is the only company that they have gone after. I will say that there is always a starting point. There is always a starting point, and we encourage them, as I said from the beginning of this interview, we encourage them to do more. We encourage them to do more. They should extend their searchlight to sachet water production, and even to the sale of generators.
Okay, just to put in proper perspectives, it's actually a coalition of Nigerian consumers, not the National
Okay, not Nigerian Protection Council.
Nigerian,
okay, that's a private organization.
Yes, but again, it brings me back to the issue of, isn't it time for us to begin to look at some kind of unified or some kind of national strategy of price control for not just things like MultiChoice, but generally goods and services in the Nigerian market? Because in recent times, what we have seen is that each time you go to the market, that you always buy the goods that you bought the last time, at a higher price. So price control, it's key here. So how do we effect that across board?
Well, as you said earlier, it is difficult to effect price control. However, consumers can come together and say, sorry, we cannot pay for this, okay? Because the competing forces in sale of products and in sale of goods and services are demand and supply. So we cannot say that we cannot force a producer to sell at a particular price. But a consumer can say, looking at what is available, the available market forces, this is what consumers should pay. And I believe that the private organization, as you say, the coalition of consumers, they are in the right direction to have gone to court to say, sorry, let us look at the competing forces more. Let us look at the competing forces, the competing market forces more, and then determine whether multi-choice is in the right direction in the increase of their tariff.
Yes, Councillor, thank you. I wanted a bit more perspective. You said this was an ex parte motion. What does this, for the layman, what does this actually imply? Is it Uhuru yet? What are we going to see? Are there chances that multi-choice could justify this increase and it comes to stand?
No, what happens is that when you go to court on an ex parte application, it just is the party that is in court. The other party has not been heard. So the court, what the court just said is let everybody stay where you are, maintain status quo, do not take further action. If, for instance, the tariff is the package they are running is about 3,000, continue to maintain the 3,000 naira until I hear from the other side. Do not take further action on this. This matter is already before me, so do not increase until I've heard from both parties. So from the 11th of next month, both parties will be in court to canvass their cases.
And chances are that if they're able to make a strong case for this, then it may come to stand.
Yes, it will stand, and then of course it's vice versa. The multi-choice company can bring strong points that they cannot control their prices, and of course the court will vacate its order.
All right, now, I mean, I'm concerned whether or not our courts should be meddling in matters such as this, because, we say we operate a free market and an open economy, and so there should be competition. I mean, it's only a matter of, okay, if I'm, patronizing this service and then the price has been increased and it's something I do not see myself doing, why don't I go to the next person who is probably, providing a similar service, and then, so it's a matter of choice at the end of the day. Why are we so, keen on this?
Well, I believe that the court is there for everybody. Okay, when you feel that there are certain things, for instance, I do not have the opportunity, I have not seen the processes filed in court. We may just be canvassing, we may just be speaking on the issue of increase in tariff or increase on the price of the product, and we may not know that the reason they went to court may simply be that, yes, go ahead, may simply be that some laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria were breached by multi-choice, or that there are some conditions before increase of price of the products which multi-choice did not meet up with. So, so until we see the case of the plaintiffs in court, we may not be able to determine what their reliefs, we may not be able to comment on what their reliefs are and the chances of their, the success of their case in court. So, however, I will only say that the court is there for everybody. If you feel at any time that your rights has been breached or likely to be breached by that,
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Ezekiel Ugochukwu, or Barrister Ezekiel Ugochukwu, for providing that wonderful perspective. We hope that this will become a signpost for organized consumers everywhere in this country to challenge, arbitrary price increase where they feel there are grounds to do so. Thank you for joining us and providing those perspectives.